Hey guys, welcome back. This is the Bitcoin market review for November the 1st, 2022. And as always, before we get into the price section, we look at the economic calendar for yesterday. And we can see we had a high impact news event at 10 a.m. And if we look at price, 10 a.m., yeah, quite a big candle right there. We can look at it on a lower time frame. You can see that's the 10 a.m. candle right there. It's not the most impactful high impact news event. What was that? ISM manufacturing PMI and the job openings. It's not the most impactful, but still it tampered with price a little bit. But yeah, overall, price pretty much did exactly the same thing as it did yesterday. Just a little bit smaller. Or like not it didn't move as much as it did yesterday or on October 31st, because on October 31st you can see we pushed up in the morning, formed a high, and then we broke down at around like 9 to 10 a.m. Price broke down, and then it starts a little bit of an upwards consolidation, a slow drift upwards. And today it did pretty much exactly the same. Up move in the morning, reversal, and then, as I said, it's not such a volatile drop, but still. Here we have a drop between 9 and 10 a.m. This one right here, and the first one dropped around 7 a.m. So overall we had pretty much exactly the same price action as we did yesterday, or as we had yesterday. Basically what price did, it rebalanced all these imbalances from the drop on Monday. And this is what you can see here. It pushed up, rebalanced that, pushed into that order block right here, into this candle, and then it reversed and dropped down again. But yeah, it didn't move as much as it did yesterday. And exactly as we had yesterday, we only have setups in the morning, and then one setup in the lunch hour, so in here. But pretty much most of the setups are in this area right here prior to the drop, or actually utilizing the drop, or like setups that gave you an entry to catch some of the drop, or some of the down movement. And yeah, with that said, we jump right into the setups. First one being a 1 minute setup right here. You can see price moved up, and then it started to consolidate here a bit, and then here it went up once more. With this candle it went above the bodies of these candles, so it went into the rejection block, as ICT teaches them, like above the bodies of the candles with long wicks. We have here long wicks. Price pushes above the bodies of the candles and then starts to reverse and breaks market structure right here. So we have a shift in market structure, and now we can draw out the fair value gaps. That was not well drawn. Okay, so we have one right here, that's the upper one. We have one right here like this, and then we would have another one up here which price goes into later on. But for now, for this setup, we don't draw this out as we don't need it. But we do need the fib tool, draw that out, and we can see price push down. Yes, it ran into an order block, reversed here, went back up into a premium, repricing the fair value gap, and then continuing lower, taking out this low and repricing some imbalances in here. And then you can see price starts to consolidate again and eventually pushes up into the upper fair value gap which was left behind. But this is a quick and nice setup on the 1 minute at like 3:20 a.m. so very nice. And from this we jump over to not this, I mean this is the setup, but the entry is all the way over here. So it took a while to form, but but nevertheless it's a nice setup. So first we have a market structure break right here, and I'm gonna zoom in so you can see it better. Right here, this candle broke the low of this candle, so we have a shift in market structure. Okay, with that given, we can now draw out the fair value gaps which we had in the down drop. One being right here, then we have another one right here, draw it out as well, and then we have the lowest one right here, which gets filled pretty much immediately. If we now utilize the fib tool and pull it out from the low, from the high to the low, like this, we can see price takes some time to move up. Like here it consolidates a bit, then it starts to push up into the first fair value gap, so into a premium, reprices the first fair value gap, drops down a little bit, and then eventually pushes up to go for the upper fair value gap, stays here a bit, so stays in a premium for a little while, pushes down into discount, goes into a premium here once more prior to then dropping down lower. And actually here we have two consecutive setups. So this is the main setup right here to go for these lows and for this low right here, and eventually it drops down into this low. Like on this move, it drops down into a couple of lows right here. So that would have been the setup to catch like the full move. If we go to the 5 minute, we can see this is pretty much the entry on top of the daily range. Like here, that's the top of the daily range, and this is the bottom of the daily range. So with this setup, you could have caught pretty much the whole daily range. Now we drop back down into the 1 minute, because as I said, we had consecutive entries right here. So an entry after an entry. So this being the main setup. And on this drop down, you can see we create another setup. From this high to, let's use the equal lows right here. We can see, I mean, that's a liquidity void, only down close candles. And there is, like, there's a fair value gap in here. I'll draw that out. And there would be another one up here, but price doesn't get to that. But yeah, price drops down, stops prior to breaking all, like, look at that, that's like 3 or 4 equal lows right here. So that's pretty equal lows. Price stops prior to running that. We expect it to run that. Price pushes up into a premium, and then it continues lower, breaking these lows, or pretty much breaking the lows of this consolidation. And then this price action down here is actually another setup on a higher time frame. If we drop, or if we go to the 5 minute now, no, that's not what I wanted, sorry. We can see that's the drop we just looked at. So that was the drop in the morning at around 7 AM. And then price stops for a while and consolidate in all the way to the market open at 9:30. And if we use now the fib tool, pull it out from this high to this low, we can see price actually went all the way back up into a premium to touch a fair value gap left behind on the drop down, prior to then like crashing down once more or moving down quicker from like, what's that, like 9:35 until 10 AM. Yeah, it moved down quicker. So what we had here is the first setup on the 1 minute was up here in this area. So from this high to this low, back up to this high, that was the entry on the 1 minute for the first setup. Then we had the second setup right here, with this candle being both the low and the entry candle, I believe. And then we pushed lower, consolidated here for a while, and this was the next entry or the third entry to catch this down move, or a portion of this down move. And right here you can see price pushes back up, touches a premium, touches the fair value gap, prior to then reversing and dropping down lower. So yeah, very nice price action in the morning. And now we go to the last setup for yesterday, which was during lunchtime. And it's just a quick 3-minute setup which I wanna show to you. It's not the best setup as it is during lunch, but still it's a setup worth showing. And this is already the last setup for yesterday, as there were not that many setups yesterday. So yeah, overall we had pretty much the same price action as we did on Monday, as we had the major move in the morning and then consolidation throughout the rest of the day. But yeah, nevertheless, we have one more setup here during lunchtime. You can see price drops down, creates equal lows right here. You can see that. Leaves behind a value gap on this drop, and price then pushes back up to reprice this fair value gap, touches the up close candle, which is the order block, prior to then pushing down lower to take out these lows. First the equal lows, and it takes this low and pushes into this down close candle, which is an order block. So that's just a quick setup at the towards the end of lunch, towards the end of the lunch hour. And yeah, with that we have all the setups from yesterday. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed them. If you did, leave a like. And as usual, if you have any suggestions of what you want to see in this channel, please let me know in the comment section below. And yeah, I wish you a nice day. I hope you are safe, and I hope I see you again. Bye.